If great graphics make great games, pixel art would have disappeared years ago. Instead, it's stronger than ever, proven in some cases outlasting realism. Hello friends, welcome back, this is Mobo. Today we're going to be checking out 20 pixel perfect 10 out of 10 mobile games you absolutely need to try. So here's a fact. I'm running this channel for a little over 4 years and it's the first time we have Terraria on the list. And I've got one reason for that. Terraria is that rare case almost every gamer ends up recommending sooner or later. And after all these years, it still really deserves it. See, at first it looks like it's just a simple sandbox, but like you give it an hour and you will realize just how ridiculously deep this thing is. It genuinely feels complete, got infinite amount of content, absolutely worth every cent, and if you've never played it somehow, this is the kind of game you will wish you had discovered like years ago. Give it a shot. So for the second time, you're not even gonna believe this one, but Dungeon Within, despite whatever trailer you're watching, first of all, it's my personal #1 recommendation instead of Terraria. And it was also the most purchased strategy game last month for those who discovered it, and at the same time the most off the radar game in 2026 so far. Here you are in this game, you're not the hero, you are the problem. Dungeon Within basically flips the antagonist premise and gives you the role against heroes. So you wake up as someone, this half-forgotten dark lord, where instead of escaping dungeons, you're building one. You're setting traps, placing rooms, making monsters, basically designing a place no one could survive if they tried. 10 out of 10 game, highly recommended, takes you down $6, should probably cost even more, I don't know. Sitting in at number 3 with, by the way, the thumbnail's not clickbait for once, we've got over here the big CotC, Octopath Traveler Champions of the Continent, which I'd say is more like a proper JRPG than your typical mobile gacha to begin with. The HD 2D visual is amazing, soundtrack is incredible, combat has a surprising amount of depth as well, the story is also much stronger than most mobile RPGs with like several long different campaigns that actually give you a reason to keep trying, beyond collecting just characters. Yeah, the gacha is there, but if you're into some old school Square Enix type of game, this one's a neat game. With that being said, if you've been lucky enough to not have seen this game before, I would argue that Evoland 2 ain't even an RPG. It's like a full-on trip rather than a game. If you know ball when you see one, Evoland 2, specifically the second game in the series, it's not just one game that you could call just a game, it's like a whole history lesson in gaming, except it's a fun type of history. You start in this pixelated 2D realm, later it sort of flips into 3D, turns into a fighting game, a car game, even a shooter at some point. It's just diverse the right way. Additionally, the story ties it all together with some time travel, different types of arts, lots of genuine game references that are humoristic as whatever. There's no ads, no extra payment, it's just a rare throwback adventure that don't even come around anymore. It's a premium purchase for $5.
We trust you are willing to accept.
Huntdown is one of those games you know within like the first 20-30 seconds of gameplay, whether if it's your thing, and if it is, good luck putting it down. Like seriously. It looks like an old school run and gun shooting game, but it actually plays a lot smarter. Like I don't even know what to say except that if you like games that reward skill without feeling unfair, that's honestly one of the cleanest platforms you can play on mobile. Or you grew up playing games such as Contra. This is like that. Just a cheesy 80s action movie vibe, never gets old. Just use a controller, get a friend for co-op play, you're gonna have an amazing time.
Let's start with the 3 new weapons.
Down to number 6. Dead Cells on mobile is practically Castlevania and Dark Souls with the added option of just touchscreen support. You look at it thinking like it's gonna be some one-time journey, but you'll soon end up playing the game for months. The combat's legit, weapon variety is insane. Never seen anything as diverse in another game when it comes to weapon variety. The music is something to get like new headphones even for. And besides the base game, the DLC really cranks things to where real players struggle putting it just down. Touch control stick sort of a hot minute to get the hang of, but once you do, it's just amazing Roguelike. You might want to use a controller though and see what real polish actually looks like. You ever come across a pixel art game specifically so good you got mad? Personally, to me, that was Phantom Tower. Considering that it's still in development and on its way for PC after generating a ton of hype and positive reviews for mobile, on Android and iOS. If you're into roguelikes that actually make every run feel real, really different as well, this is it. Idea is pretty simple in fact. Climb 100 floors, survive whatever you face, and hope this run goes better than the last one. It's a completely offline game for the demo, so if you're looking for something challenging without the usual online part, this is at least worth a try. It's a free demo, full game's gonna take you 10. Well, okay, so going down to number 8, we've got Sea of Stars, which is just a sensational PC/mobile game, and one of the most polished modern JRPGs in recent history, and one that actually comes in terms of port quality as great as they can get. In fact, developers confirmed some ongoing post-launch support with the free DLC Thrones of the Watchmaker and future updates planned to be added down the line to the game, to the mobile version, so it's not like a one-and-done release either, it's still expanding. The mobile version has cloud saves, controller support, offline friendly, and the whole thing is going to take you about $9. I'm gonna say that Blasphemous is on our list today, not just because after all these years we're still fascinated by the difficulty, it's just a legitimate video game. Like if we're talking Souls-like type of games, Pascal's Wager and Blasphemous are like very close, considering that Blasphemous is like one less dimension, yet still delivers the same stuff. If anything, even harder. If you enjoy games like Hollow Knight, Dead Cells, or even Castlevania, Blasphemous is easily one of the strongest premium mobile game releases of this decade. Number 10 is just nostalgia hit. So if you just simply grow up with arcade, specifically Metal Slug games, Rush is definitely gonna hit that spot. In fact, Metal Slug Rush came out a couple weeks ago, and it sort of took everything that made the series iconic into a roguelike survivor. It has a pixel art, the classic announcer we've been laughing with, the music, the gunplay, the characters, weapons, and upgrades, so you're gonna be quite busy seeing which one works best while getting railed all the way as well. So it's a free game, plays halfway offline, don't have controller support yet, but the good news is that the iOS version actually dropped today. Now, on another hand, Potion Pyramid is basically what you get if Stardew Valley sort of cared more about medicine instead of farming. You know what I mean? You play this town's chemist, heading out into wilderness and gather ingredients, brew these potions, and come back diagnosing and treating villages through these different, very interesting minigames actually. Honestly, what's not to even love about that? Seriously, the loop is incredibly addictive. Once you get the hang of it, over time you get to know the people in town, improve your relationships, earn the trust, and earn the money. With the game actually right now currently 50% off, it's like a almost no-brainer, especially I would say if you do really enjoy games that don't even try to rush you. Pretty good, it's a solid 9 out of 10. There's like maybe 3 good platform pixel art slashing games on the Play Store that are free and offline at the same time. Apple Knight over here is the best of 3, and the number one reason is just it nails the basics. The controls are super responsive, the combat's clean, every level is built around keeping you moving instead of slowing you down, you've got wall jumping, aerial maneuvers, hidden paths for some extra reward. It has an old school action platformer vibe, but with like a ton of modern features as well. If you're looking for a polished offline platforming free game, Apple Knight's still one of the easiest recommendations of all time when it comes to mobile games. If you missed previously on this precious baby, Sword of Convallaria is probably one of the easiest, best tactical RPGs on mobile sitting for free right now. Reason number 1 is that it just has a super stylish pixel art. Number 2, it's the battles themselves. Positioning, elevation, terrain, and even objects on the map all matter, so fights feel more like solving a puzzle than just simply overpowering your enemies. The story is also surprisingly mature as well. It's got some real meaningful choices that can send you down completely different paths instead of just changing a few lines of dialogue. And yes, it has gacha elements, but there's a genuinely great adventure, strategy, and story all beneath it as well. Number 14, we've got this thing here called Home, Planet and Monsters. I'm pretty sure most of you scrolled through this game and not even tried it. Planet and Hunters is like it was made for people who like taking their time with strategy instead of just button mashing. It's a tactical RPG, battles play out in a grid, just like sort of Convallaria, so where you move, who you target, when you use your abilities actually really matter. You win every fight between missions and you get to pick and recruit new hunters, upgrades, playing with different team combinations to see what clicks for you. The art has a lot of personality, the world is legitimately fun to explore. I would say overall it's a pretty free, nice little game that's just very easy to get invested in. Previously I've mentioned Meg's Monster in a couple of videos, of course. This is for better or worse, maybe the last time. In fact, Meg's Monster is just one of the few mobile games ever that really, completely catches you off guard. It's sort of looking like a quirky little pixel RPG. 15 minutes down, it turns into one of those stories you couldn't stop thinking if you tried for 15 hours. The combat has a pretty clever twist as well, where you're actually protecting a little girl instead of yourself, because if she cries, it's basically game over. And that little simple idea makes everything different. It's funny a minute, surprisingly emotional the next, and it never really feels like it's trying too hard as well. Very creative game. Personally, Shredder's Revenge is my favorite Teenage Mutant game of all time. I never really played like about 90% of all TMNT games out there, so believe me when I'm telling you, Shredder's Revenge isn't just some cash grab kind of mobile port, it's like a time machine. It's an arcade time machine, the best I can describe it. Everything from the pixel art to the soundtrack is just perfection. If you've got a controller to throw in, you're gonna be good to go for months. Combat's deep fluid, humor's all there all the way, and for $9 you get some pure retro with all the correct right modern touches possible. For those of you specifically who missed it, for some few reasons of course, Vampire Survivors on mobile is like that indie hit you heard everyone talking about but didn't expect to fit in your pocket. It's a free game, it is playable online and offline of course. I would argue it's one of those games that's just excellent. You move, you shoot, you die, rinse, repeat, and it never gets old as well. Portrait or landscape both work, though landscape of course might need or reward more with the controller. It's about 600 megabytes and it's available on both the Google and the Apple, so why not? Moving on. Down to number 18, we've got this thing called Hike. I would argue that this is the type of game that avoids overwhelming you with systems, although it doesn't have to. At the same time, it works so well because it's just so simple in nature. In this game, you spend most of your time exploring ruined areas, swapping between different witches with their own abilities, then you're heading back camp to cook, decorate, and hang out with some folks before setting off to another one. It just has that old school feel where the journey is just the main attention, not like chasing some bigger number. You play it when you just want to relax, and you end up losing yourself in it in like hours at a time. Shame though, it's available only on the Apple Store. Viking Hero actually surprised me more than I expected. Like to me it looked like just a tower defense game at its finest, but after just a few rounds it turned there's much more going on with it. During the day, you're just scrambling, walking around, gathering resources, then nighttime, instead of watching towers who just work for you, you're right in the middle of a battle, controlling your Viking alongside your army as well. It's quite a bit like Kingdom Crown, except on a 60-degree real-time angle. 10 out of 10, hella addictive, it's a free as well. This actually took a good year to make its way around, but if you've got a Crunchyroll membership, you can play it for free now. Pepper Grinder, in my opinion, is a kind of game you can tell the developers built the idea first, and then everything else around that idea to make it feel as good as technically possible to play. Pretty short game in fact, very satisfying one though, that's just basically built around one idea, which is just drilling. The structure is classic, nice little theme and time trials for replay value, it's pretty polished, well ported to mobile, and it's just pretty good, perfect for platforming fans looking for a good new dopamine fix. On another hand, at number 21, Drova, which I've mentioned probably a couple of times before, it's just one of them RPGs that works only when you realize that it ain't going to babysit you. You're sort of pretty weak in this game, almost broke. Honestly, kind of useless. The world treats you exactly like that as well. Every weapon upgrades, every new skill, and every fight you finally win feels really earned. It's that type of game. It has an old school gothic vibe where like exploring off path actually pays off. NPCs remember your choices and it's sort of a little bit like the old Diablo games. It's not a free game, takes you $9, playable offline, solid 9 out of 10. And last but not least, we've got over here at number 22 this thing called The Case of the Golden Idol, which I'm calling a rare case of a detective game that never really holds your hand. It's just crime scene after crime scene and it says, go in and figure it out. In fact, the 18th century setting gets the story going really well, and once you get into the rhythm, it's genuinely hard to put down. If you're a guy, if you're a man or a woman who enjoys solving mysteries instead of following them, this is easily one of the smartest puzzle games on mobile right now. Thanks for watching, I really hope you enjoyed, I'll see you again tomorrow.